It's finally that time of year. Snow has sort of melted. Mountain roads are reopening and the van is set up for a spring road trip. The month of May means more daylight, blossoming flowers, a lush landscape, and Norway's Constitution Day is the perfect opportunity to celebrate nature's reawakening. We figured this was all we needed for a journey through the fjords, and a chance to witness the blooming life in the Hardanger region. After the first night in the van, we woke up to one of the must-see places in the area, namely a waterfall with a constant roar that drops 145 meters into the canyon below. It's very accessible and views are provided from multiple angles thanks to some steel pathways that surrounds the waterfall, even crossing the river at some point. Because it was May 17th, a day we happily celebrated in a postcard-like landscape. We figured we had to pull out a great location for waving the flag and honoring our home country so dear to our hearts. We had just the right place in mind and got behind the wheel. Through a steep, one-way road sprinkled with a dark, winding and narrow tunnel, our destination suddenly lied right in front of us. We could hardly have asked for a better way to celebrate the Constitution Day. Stunned by the scenery, but maybe more about the history belonging to this mountain farm, which indeed deserves a separate episode. We continued our journey back to the fjords. And if you're intrigued by Norway, want to know where all these places are and tap into all the knowledge we've gathered from traveling through our country for years, you have to check out the brand new edition of our travel guide. With 424 inspirational and informative pages, it's packed with everything you need for the trip of a lifetime through Norway. Get yours now, and we hope to see you somewhere along the road. We pretty much stumbled upon the ideal place to enjoy the sunny day. Eventually, we found the perfect combination between cooling down and heating back up again as we bounced to and from the refreshing ocean and the steaming sauna. Being that rejuvenated, we met the next day with high spirits. covered some more ground in the van towards a remote parking lot where we could leave our home on wheels for a night. You see, the plan was to hike towards a scenic cabin that has been on our to-do list for quite some time. With heavy backpacks filled with everything we needed, we strapped on our boots and started gaining more elevation. As we approached Kiellandbu, it certainly lived up to what we expected. This cabin is bookable through DNT, also known as the Norwegian Trekking Association. Unfortunately, it was occupied by some other hikers on the night we visited. But we brought our tent and got to enjoy the same magnificent surroundings from our portable shelter. Inside the cabin, you'll find 5 single beds, spread across 2 floors, a kitchen zone right inside the main door, a fireplace, and a few windows that really put this cabin on the map. Reason being, well, this is the entire reason. After the scenic hike back down, we started the drive back towards the Hardanger fjord. Some places in Norway, there's a special effort put into building very special toilets along scenic roads. This one is the perfect example, and if you follow the river, it ends up in a site which is worth the detour. Hours go by when detours lead us astray, but at least we approach our campsite before dark. The spot we chose was at the end of a remote gravel road, partly blocked by a tree. After a quick cleanup, we secured a perfect place to spend the night. Enjoying the creature comforts of our self-built camper van was extra rewarding, as our sore feet felt the hike to and from the mountain cabin. Can't go wrong with a slow morning, soaking in the morning sun rays and having coffee with this view. Zulu celebrated her 7th birthday with all the treats and snuggle we could give her. Before long, we buckled up and drove straight towards a landmark of the area, the mighty Hardanger Bridge. This suspension bridge is just about 1.4 kilometers long, standing 200 meters tall, and exits straight into a tunnel. The colorful roundabouts drilled into the mountain is a popular feature among visitors. Driving along the narrow roads of Hardanger, where the main road has designated meeting pockets allowing bigger vehicles to pass each other, is quite the experience. The backdrop is always spectacular, and the famous apple farms along the road make the area quite memorable. If our husky could talk, my assumption is that the gift she would enjoy the most is following a trail through nature. Her wish was granted, and we made our way to a viewpoint along a deafening waterfall. Next on the agenda was a visit to a local cider producer called cider. Clinging onto a steep plot of land, squeezed between the fjord and the mountain glacier, this farm was recently named best in class in the world's biggest cider competition. That tells you all about their focus on quality and the craftsmanship going into their products. One of their staff members willingly showed us everything worth knowing, and the spontaneous look behind the scenes was an experience on its own. The weather this far had been beyond good, which is never a given during Norwegian spring. We knew there was a slight weather change coming, which is why we quickly needed to climb another mountain to get a greater view of Hardanger. The destination was a glacier lake known for its bright color. Ascending to the lake starts along a service road built to serve a hydroelectric power plant. The entire trip is steep and can therefore be demanding, but at least it's not too long. As we enjoyed our lunch right by the lake, a sudden weather shift caught us by surprise. Only moments earlier, we enjoyed 20 degrees and sun. Now, hail came flying down from above, and I started regretting my choice of clothing. Have you ever experienced anything like this? just as quickly as the bad weather rolled in. Blue skies returned, and we ended up parking the van at a peaceful spot without anyone else around. There's an obvious reason for the layout we chose as we built our camper van, namely to provide ample work surface for making food and preparing delicious meals on the road. After the tasteful summer salad was devoured, Benedicte stepped up the cooking game even more. Have you ever seen anyone bake a focaccia in a van? Once again, the air fryer did its thing, and being off-grid while making baked goods proved to be no problem. When we planned out this trip, we'd hoped for newly opened mountain roads, you know, the ones with meter-high snowbanks on the side. Well, this year, snow had been scarce, and there was no way we could get those kind of conditions. Luckily, Norway will spoil its visitors with spectacular roads, and we had to check out one of these. On the other side of the mountain, we met up with a local enthusiast that we met through this YouTube channel. He pulled some strings, and suddenly we ended up at a place which might be the best camp spot in town. We'd been driving for quite some time, and we figured we needed some movement. Not far from where we parked, there's a day trip cabin, one of many scattered across the country. It's quite clear that some architectural details are included in the shape of these cabins, which are unlocked and open to anyone. Besides the outside deck and seating arrangements, you'll find a wooden stove inside, as well as what's being called a library of outdoorsy reading material on the walls. The view is an added bonus, and the open and bright cabin is cherished by many. We enjoyed a lazy evening by the van and gathered some strength before the next day's activity. The locals had shared one of their favorite hike with us and told us it was the perfect place to spend the night. Our backpacks were loaded with all kinds of goodies before we set out on what would be an amazing adventure. The hike up is scenic and the surroundings ever-changing. Scattered tiny cabins, mixed with old miniature farms in beautiful terrain. Sherpas from Nepal has built bespoke stone stairs at the steepest parts, making the trail easy to follow. After summiting, we were eager to check out our shelter for the night. Safe to say the view was impressive, and we quickly realized this would be one of the highlights of the trip. The hammock mounting points made the sleeping arrangement easy, and even though the wind was howling outside, the cabin somehow deflected all sound, making it surprisingly silent inside. The skies just about caught fire in the evening, and the color show was out of this world beautiful. I guess all things must come to an end, and the foggy morning mist indicated that it was about time to leave the cabin behind. We said our goodbye to Sauna, which impressed us in so many ways, both by its engaged inhabitants and the ever-growing list of attractions and nature experiences offered to anyone swinging by this corner of the world. Our trip was coming to an end, and we reflected on all the impressions and experiences of the last week. We even found the perfect place to do so, in an area of Telemark, a region which is an Eldorado for camper van lifestyle. I mean, preparing dinner in the typical trademarks of the Telemark nature, while the sun set. It was kind of the perfect end to this unique trip through Hardanger and western parts of Norway. If you made it this far, we are very grateful for your attention, and I hope you enjoyed this video. As a part of this audience, we would like to give you a chance to win something special. To celebrate our latest Norway Travel guide, we're giving away a lifelong free update of the guide, as well as a printed copy once this is available. There will be prizes to the 5 first buyers with the correct answer. In order to win, send me an Instagram DM with your order ID, the page number and the destination it describes, where Zulu is in the middle of a flower field. Good luck and thanks for watching.